Hi Mars, it's really nice to have you with us today. I really do appreciate you coming in for this interview. So just to really start this off, Mars, can you please just tell me a bit about yourself, please? Well, I'm the fourth planet from the sun, and I'm the second smallest in the solar system. Okay, and how does that make you feel? What do you mean? Is that perhaps why you're so angry all the time? Because you're almost trying to overcompensate for being smaller out of all the planets. You were named after Ares, the god of war, isn't that correct? Listen, just because some men on Earth decided to call me after Ares, the god of war, doesn't mean I'm angry. I'm angry because I experienced the largest dust storms in the entire solar system. Besides, they named me after Ares because I'm blood red, just like the Egyptians called me the Red One. The reason why I'm so red is because I've got so much iron covering me, don't I? Wow, impressive, impressive. Okay, so Mars, I'm going to ask you some personal questions now. Is that okay with you? Right, sure. Okay, go for it, I'm ready, I'm ready. Okay, so you rule both Aries and Scorpio, isn't that right? Yes, What I would like you to do, please, is can you explain to me how your energy is expressed differently through these two signs? That's a good question. Well, try to think of it like this. So Aries goes into battle while Scorpio retreats, yet it's the same energy behind both signs. You see, the battlefield for Aries is in the world, whereas the battlefield for Scorpio is himself. Aries is more about fighting direct, very impulsive and head on, you know? Yet Scorpio's fighting technique is a little bit more complicated. The Aries Mars is like the boxer, whereas the Scorpio Mars is like the martial arts master. Aries Mars acts positively from within, outwardly, highly driven, highly ambitious. But yet Scorpio Mars is more intense. The instincts for them is very, very strong. It's like they're just as effective in their silence as they are when they speak. Aries is fire and it's cardinal, and so it burns and it pushes, whereas Scorpio is more water and it's fixed, so it wants to be pure and it wants to be clean, but at the same time it lets off a lot of steam. Aries rules the beginnings, whereas Scorpio rules death. And if you really do compare a boxer to a martial arts master, the boxer's more fight, yeah? But yet the martial arts master will only fight when necessary. Aries is just bulldozing through everything, through all the walls, just like the ram that he is, but sometimes he can get his head hurt, you know? You know what I mean? Needs to learn a few things or two. So what I'm gathering, Mars, is that you're about energy and you're about action. Would you say that maybe you represent pursuing your desires? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Right, okay. So can you please explain to me more about that? Well, my very function is to identify my desires and pursue them. These motivations usually do come from my strong internal drives. For me, I act and I get what I want when I want it. So much so that I will take many risks so I can move as quickly as possible towards reaching my satisfaction. And how would you say then that you act on these internal drives? Through many ways, really. I mean, through courage, through leadership. Energy, of course, is mentioned, through expression, through forcefulness, through practicality. Many ways. Yeah. And would you say that these actions are easy to control? Oh, no. I fall short sometimes, just like everybody falls short sometimes, right? For example, sometimes I try to be really heroic, but then I end up just being completely recklessly bold. Alright. Okay. how do you feel about Venus? Can you maybe explain to me how you get on with Venus in terms of your energy? She's alright, I guess. I can't keep up with her. She's too high maintenance. You know, she's always going around Jupiter and flirting with him too much. I mean, I get it. He's bigger than me, but size doesn't mean everything, right? Okay, Mars, I think we'll just stop there. I would just like you to just take this a little bit more seriously and just answer the question a bit more seriously. Alright, I was just kidding. Now, when I'm trining or sextiling Venus, feelings and actions, they're very harmonious. And so what this can do is it can create a sociable and affectionate person on Earth. But if I were to square with Venus, it's a little bit more difficult for the person, because it's difficult for the person to control both their emotions and their passions. But yet, if me and Venus are opposite each other, then the person it affects on Earth, they might need to learn how to cooperate and how to really compromise. So yeah, I guess you could say when me and Venus are in a good aspect, it's good. Thank you for answering that question. I know if it was a bit of a difficult question to answer. Like, quickly, what I would like you to do actually is just tell me briefly about when you're in retrograde. What exactly happens whenever you go into retrograde? Ah, bloody retrogrades, man. Hate when they happen. Makes people not like me very much, you know. The retrograde is just really about me needing to clarify my desires and focus my passions internally before I then act. I'm still pretty assertive during this time, but I'm not as assertive as when I'm direct. You could say then that it makes people on Earth a little bit irritated whenever I am in retrograde. Fascinating. Amazing. I just have 2 more questions and then that will really be the interview over. You've been such a good sport, Mars. Thank you so much for just being here today. So my question is here, Mars. How does a person on Earth really own your energy? How do they step into their Mars energy, and how do they really utilize it correctly? Great question. That's a great question. They'll know what they want. Not only will they know what they want, but they'll be able to have the appropriate ways of going after what they want. Whenever they use me correctly, they can assert themselves and take necessary risks without hurting anybody else or hurting themselves. They'll also action their sexual drives in a positive way whenever they use me correctly. Amazing. Just so interesting. I really am glad that you are the first person I'm interviewing, because I have just found this interview to be very insightful. But overall, Mars, to wrap this interview up, what does your fairy placement in a person's chart truly represent? Yeah, sure. Well, ultimately, it reveals just where they need total freedom to instinctively act on their desires. And of course, by doing so, then they're led to self-awareness and to self-discovery. Wow, okay, well, thank you again, Mars, for this interview and allowing me to interview you today. I discovered a lot of interesting information from you, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I do hear that within about 50 million years or so, you're going to perhaps have a ring around you, just like Saturn. Pretty exciting. So yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi again, Mars. I'm so sorry about this. It's just that yesterday there were just a couple of questions that I completely forgot to ask you, and these questions I think the lovely audience would truly benefit from. I know I will be interviewing Venus, but hopefully your paths won't cross. No, that's okay. I don't mind. Just, I was already passing by. Shouldn't be long, right? So really what it was related to was your exaltation and your fall within the zodiac. So if you could please just explain to me a little bit about how it is that you are exalted in the sign of Capricorn. Cool. I was sort of even wondering to myself yesterday why you didn't ask me this question, because I suppose it's sort of important. The reason why I'm exalted within the sign of Capricorn is because it's sort of like me and Saturn are having this tag team. What it actually does, it provides the Mars Capricorn with a lot more restraint, a lot more control. The Capricorn Mars is able to move actively and ambitiously towards their goals with much persistence, with a lot more patience. Capricorn Mars is able just to see what needs to be done and move towards it in an effective way, structured way. Right, okay, I can see how that combination works very well there. So could you also please just explain then the fall, how you fall within the sign of Cancer? Oh yeah, the fall. Cancer Mars. Cancer Mars can just be too emotional. They don't like to be so aggressive, just really because they find it difficult to use their fighting energy effectively. So like I was saying, with me coming together with Saturn in a cool tag team, me coming together with the moon, that can be difficult. So because of that, what really happens is the Cancer Mars just sort of steams up inside and keeps it all in, and because they keep it all in, it can then result in possible mood swings and being too emotional. Moon thinks she can try to sink me, you see. Yeah, so we don't get on too well. Okay, oh well, that's really it. They're just the questions that I wanted to go over briefly, and you answered them so well, as usual. Again, thank you kindly for just for this interview and for coming in today. You've been very, very good. Some would say you've been quite patient. Thanks for having me again. I actually saw Venus down the hallway. We chatted for a couple of minutes. I don't know, we have a love-hate relationship. Okay guys, so that concludes my video of the interview with Mars. I know it's a little bit different to videos I usually make, but we'll see how this goes. Just let me know if you like it. Thank you kindly to my current subscribers, of course, for subscribing to my channel. And naturally, if this is the first time you're finding my channel and you'd like to see more videos from me, then click the subscribe button, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!